Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel. And this hot mess that you're looking at right now is what I'm hoping to work on using up for my Use It Up 2020 challenge in the month of April. This is one of my scrap boxes. It's the one that sits over by my silhouette. So usually if I have a project that I use off my silhouette, if it's small scraps, I end up just tossing it in here, or sometimes during the crazy fall winter months, you know, pretty much October through December when we're doing back-to-back craft shows and I'm making stuff, I just toss the whole thing in here regardless of how much is left. So like I said, most of this box is just paper left from some type of silhouette project that I did. And I also have this nice thick bag of scraps that have come off my craft table. So like if I've been making cards or note cards or notebooks or anything, and the scrap pieces just go into, you know, like a little bag that I keep right behind my desk so I can just reach and toss them in there rather than filing them away. I don't know why I don't just file them sometimes, but so I have a pretty good, I want to say I had actually filed a bunch last year, so this might just be from the past year. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure, but I know at one point I went through here, sorted it out, and actually put it back in a drawer or got rid of it, I think, at one point. So, but it's a hot mess, and I haven't sorted it. My first step will be to kind of go through and sort and see what I'm actually working with in here, see what all I have. I know there's Christmas papers in here, so I'm fairly certain I can get my 10 on the 10th cards for the 10 on the 10th card collab with Metal Scrap and Chick. I am fairly certain that I will be able to pull enough paper out of here to make at least 10 cards for that collab. And then, like I said, I don't really have any other plans just because I'm not sure exactly what all is in here other than Christmas and some other holiday stuff. So it'll be interesting to sort through, see what's in here, and then see what I can come up to make with that. So again, it's this box plus this bag. I do not plan on using it all up by any means, but I would like to make a dent in it this month. So that's my plan, is just to use up as much as I can. So also, I have a card kit that I had started a while back, and I'm about halfway through, I think. And it's a Flavor of the Month kit from August, and probably 2017, maybe 2018, I'm not sure. It might have been 2017, because I think I started dating these after a while, when I wasn't using them up as fast as I thought I should. So, but anyway, the theme of this kit is wild and free. And there's, you know, some camping themed papers in here and some other kind of masculine, boyish themed papers. So I've used up a good portion of it, or a portion of it, and would just like to finish that off. Hopefully make a camping themed scrapbook out of it and maybe some other projects. So I do hope to use this kit this month on the Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month kit, like an older kit. And then I want to see how far I can get on using up my giant stash of scraps. So that is my April plans for Use It Up 2020. Just wanted to share this before I really started getting into it and started making some projects. And we'll be back here later in the month to show you what I end up creating. Okay, so it is later in the month and I am back. And I still have a hot mess in this box, but at least I can say I have started going through and sorting by size or theme or holiday. Like I've sorted out cardstock in this bag, and then I'm kind of going through and finding ones that are big enough to be a card mat, or things that are too small and I can just use them to punch out shapes. And like I've sorted, this is all wood grains, I have Christmas, I have red, white, and blue. So I did not make it I did not make a big of a dent in this box as I would have liked, but I did at least get it sorted. And I've gone through and I've started punching some shapes from some of the smaller pieces. And it's at least, sorting was the biggest job. It was just kind of going through and sorting and then trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. So even though I did use up a good amount of scraps. It didn't really make much of a dent, but at least I did use up some scraps. And some of the other things I had the Flavor of the Month kit that I said I wanted to use up. And I did a video on that. I will post a picture here, and then we'll also link to the video where I showed all the goodies that I got out of that kit. So that is done. And then some of these were part of my Stick Your Side of Crafting collab that I knew I wanted to use up. But then there's a bunch of extra embellishments that I did use up. Some of them were from Christmas cards when I did 10 on the 10th, and then some of them, just were as I was doing some of these other projects I'm getting ready to show you. So this was some three-dimensional pig embellishments. This was three-dimensional Christmas. This was, I think, Christmas. Yeah. Christmas old rub-ons. I believe these were dog stickers, and then these were Christmas, and then the ones I used for Stick Your Side of Crafting. So of the scraps that I used, I did make some Christmas cards for 10 on the 10th, which I will insert a picture of right here. And I've already shown those, so I'm not going to necessarily show them in detail again, but I'll link that video below as well if you'd like to see it. And then what I did get out of non-Christmas scraps so far is I just have like a little John Deere tractor theme note card. And this was, the only thing I was allowed to pull out of my stash were embellishments and then cardstock for like card bases and scrapbook pages, like backgrounds. The rest of the cardstock for my matting layers and for the paper and everything I used was from this box. So I got 2 Spider-Man themed birthday cards. And then here's just a little mini note card using a stamped butterfly and sentiment. This used 3 different scraps from my stash: the orange, the tan strip, and the mushroom. This is cute. This used some dog themed scraps out of that box. And then I did pull this is a kind of a sparkly or a glittery dog sticker that I got from Paper Studio this year. And then these 4U stickers were from a dog sticker set that I had, made from scraps. They're all from scraps, but baseball themed mini card. This paper was in my scrap box, and then I did pull out some embellishments to decorate it. And then this card, the orange, this kind of light aqua were scraps, and then I did use a small scrap of this kind of tannish with a swirl to punch into a flower to back my sentiment there. And then here is a birthday card, kind of a masculine themed birthday card, and just was using up some of the strips. And then I had some bigger pieces of that, newsprint. Then here, this is a card mat I was able to make out of that scrap box, and then used some strips, and then took some solid pink paper to make flowers. And so it was definitely a good challenge for me this month, only limiting myself to the patterned paper and cardstock in my scrap box. So here's just I actually took some patterned paper out of there that I really didn't like and didn't want to use anymore, and it was already cut into squares, and so I just covered it in adhesive and then used some scraps to make some like the front, it would be like the front of a little mini note card. And so then here's another one. So that's something that I can go through and do. I've been sorting my strips so that I have all the thin strips together. So these just need to be put on cards and decorated. So we got a handful, well, I guess if you include the mini cards, I got about a dozen cards, but then I got like 20 scrapbook pages. So I did make some good headway on getting caught up. I think I'm almost done with 2012. Goodness. So I had a lot of like dog themed paper in my scrap box for some reason, and I have an album. It's like a binder style album, and I want to say, well, the pages are, I can actually measure them here, they are almost 5 3/4, and I believe this is by 9. So almost 6 by 9 inch pages. And I've turned it into just a dog themed scrapbook. So like all the dogs in our family, you know, our household, and then all the dogs in our family. And so I decided I had less than 10 sleeves left in there, and so I just decided that since I had pictures that were older of the dogs, that I would just go ahead and finish off that scrapbook. So I just used some of the scraps on these little pages and did try and use up some dog-themed embellishments from my stash as well. So like these stickers, the letter stickers from P Etc. So Happy Paws. This is also from P Pebbles. It's either P Ink or P Etc. Like a magnet clip that's two-sided. So here I just took 3 strips that fit perfectly on this page and made that my background, and then added a little bone that I'd already had pre-cut in my stash, and some stickers, different paw print. I think this was actually 2 different pieces that I put together and then covered up the gap with my picture. And then this was some just green, it's not cardstock, but it's just green paper from my scrap box, and then some more stickers here. This one I just used a strip going down this side and then overlapped my pictures with some stickers. And this one always cracks me up. When we first got Macy, she's like a Vizsla hound mix of some sort. She laid in the funniest positions, like she's laying sideways, curled over the back of the couch. Always cracks me up. Anyway. And then here I just used, like this was a blue strip from the box, and then this strip down here was already torn, and so I just used that at the bottom. This just used some strips and this little punch out from my box. Here's a strip and then another piece of that same pattern paper, and then some more of that green. And then here again, just uses another strip and then a little piece of the paw prints. And then here I took this paper, pattern paper with the little circles. There was just I think 2 little pieces left, and so I just punched out some of the circles and just used those as the embellishments on this page. And then this is another striped paper from my scrap box. So I have like 8 or 9 of these. And now that album is done. And then I also did some 12 by 12 layouts. And so again, the only thing I was allowed to pull out of my other stash was cardstock for my page base, and then embellishments. All of the paper, pattern paper I used, and other smaller cardstock pieces came out of my scrap box. So again, it was a very challenging exercise for me. But it was a good exercise, and again, it made me focus on that, and I did focus on getting a lot of pages done. So here is my daughter visiting a friend who's got horses and chickens, and so this, I was, towards the end here, I was focusing on some of that wood grain bag that I had that has wood grains in it. So here's just a thicker wood grain strip going down this way, and then I took a green striped strip going this way just to play off of Ellie's jacket and hat, and then just embellished with some horse and chicken stickers, and then some letters that I pulled out of my stash. And they are oldered as well. So here's another version of that where I did the same thing. It's the exact same paper layout, just an additional picture and some different stickers. This one, I had a bigger piece, almost a 6-inch piece of this. It's like a pink, I don't know how well that's going to show up in my lighting, but a pink wood grain, and it's got a little bit of a gingham effect to it. So I took that big piece and then layered on some white wood grain on top of it just to make my patterned area a little bit bigger. Used some really old stickers, not even stickers, they're just letters, and it was like a folder type holder, and then the letters were in like little booklets that you had to tear them off of like a pile of A's and a pile of B's. I'm not even sure where they came from. May have been, I don't know if it was Walmart. I have a couple of them left in my stash, but anyway. So then I just used, actually, I think all of these, except for this cow, is old, oh no, I can't remember. Memories? Anyway, these were all really old stickers that came from like a country farm sticker sheet, like the rope and then the cows, and then this was from a separate sticker sheet. So same event, just different layout, and pulled in, there's that pink kind of gingham wood grain again, and then this time I just used lighter wood grain strips going across the middle to anchor my pictures, and then here's, I used some of the pink wood grain scraps down at the bottom I punched those into flowers, and then again just used up some of those stickers from that same sticker sheet. Life of me, I cannot remember the name of the company. Somebody can drop it in the comments below if I don't think of it before the end of the video, but it's not making memories, but it was like one of the original scrapbooking companies out there, and it's how a lot of people got started, and they used to have like the metal edges on the pages, and there weren't really page covers, you just had the metal edges on the pages. Anyway, drop it in the comments if you think of it. But this one, again, focusing on wood grain, and I used some wood grain with green on it this time, and alternated it with some, I have a lot of that white wood grain pattern. So kind of grouped my pictures here in the middle, and then brought in, these are some old letter stickers, and then brought in like some older pig stickers. So same event, again, different layout for a different album. And here are those little pink, the pig embellishments, and they're actually buttons. So there were 3 of them left in that pack, or 3 of them total in that pack, and so I used all of those up on this page. Here I'm using more of a brown wood grain. There's 2 different brown wood grains that coordinate, and then some old or some red letter stickers. Here I used this baseball, some more of that baseball wood grain. Used it as the strip going across the bottom with some blue. This is an old punch out in my stash, and then I had like a circle shape in my scrap box of that baseball wood grain as well. So I used that to journal on. Here is I don't know why this page was in my box, but this is like a doghouse. I must have pulled it out to use it for something and then didn't feel like filing it back, so I tossed it in the box. So I just did a dog layout on here, brought in some stickers to embellish, and I didn't really use any additional paper on this one, just the stickers. Here I did a layout about my daughter's room. So there's 3 different types of papers from my stash. This bright green cardstock, which I cut into a scallop and added at the top of this pink swirl paper. Actually there's 4, because this tag was also a small scrap that was in the box, and I just cut it, the corners in the top to be a tag corner. And then this is just some glitter flowers. I had, I think, a longer strip of that, but I just cut it into two and added one at the top right and one at the bottom left. And then this is an old rub-on with the little girl and her bear, and then just added in some stickers and gems as well. And then I have one more round of dog layouts using some of this paw print pattern paper. This blue cardstock was in my stash, as well as this other blue paper. So brought in, this is a really old paper piecing that was in my stash. Just some stickers. This was a scrap in the box with the word walk on it, and then some paw print buttons I added down here. And then the very last one uses some more of the black and white paw print, and kind of grouped it together. There was a couple different pieces. I had a longer strip that I cut into two, and then there's this piece here, and then a smaller piece here. And I did tear the edges on them just to give it some interest, and then brought in some red letter stickers and hearts for a pop of color. This is an old dog bone shaped clip from my stash, and then these letter stickers came on a sheet of dog stickers, as did the leash. So it was more of a challenge opportunity or learning opportunity for myself this month, and I'm kind of bummed that I didn't make it through as much of that box of scraps as I wanted to, but I did make some progress, and it was just hard working with, well, one, it was kind of overwhelming trying to figure out what I could make with what was in there, and then two, there were just, I think I was kind of intimidated by it, and so I focused on a bunch of other things this month, and so I didn't get to as much of the box as I want. So now that it's sorted, I may do a little more sorting on it, but then I'm going to put the box away for a while, and will most likely revisit that in a coming month where I just work through scraps again. So, but I do feel good about, I got a ton of scrapbook pages done, so I do feel good about that. And I worked through a bunch of embellishments. So, not a total loss. And like I said, I did use things up this month, and I did make some things with them. So, but please check out the hashtag #UseItUp2020. I know there are a few others who have been consistently playing along so far this year. Paige over at Stamp Girl on YouTube, Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage, and Marla Crafty and Candy Chellapi. They are all on YouTube that have been playing along. And on Instagram, there's Party Planner Papery and the Party Diva have been posting a lot of projects of what they've been using up. And then there's others that kind of jump in here and there. I know on Instagram I've seen others that have used it every once in a while, the hashtag #UseItUp2020, as well on YouTube. So as people start playing along more consistently, I will try and link them in the description box if I can. Otherwise, I will mention who I've seen, and then, because it's a challenge, not a collaboration, so people just do it as they can. So anyway, thanks for your time today, guys. I know this was kind of long, but I hope you got some good ideas and a reminder that you can use your scraps for projects. It was a good reminder and good exercise for me. But thanks again so much for your time, and I hope you're all having a crafty month.